How many consistent and profitable trading strategy do you have in your trading arsenal? I've got this new strategy that says CCI Indicator Strategy for winning trade better than RSI. And this is from Trader DNA. Before you go ahead to watch this video directly, I'll briefly explain what this YouTuber explained. Then we automate together, we backtest together, and we do some optimization to explore the best way to use the strategy. Then we conclude if it is truly profitable, it's relatively low drawdown. And as you can see, it has 1 million views, so it is most likely going to be profitable. I am optimistic. I don't know about you, so let's get into it. So let me quickly show you what he explained. He said we should get two things, CCI indicator and we should get a moving average. You know what? Let me just add those things here. So I'll just delete this and I will remove the alligator. So I will have my CCI and that should be among the oscillators. Okay, this is it, CCI, and I will leave it on default. So you know what? I'll change the period to 7 because that was what he used. Then I would say okay. Then you can see it has two levels. It has the plus 100 and the minus 100. You know what? I would like to remove this volume. So I will remove this. Then in my under my trend, I will add my moving average. So we have to add two moving average. We have to add the 10 period moving average. Then no, let me just make this I think yellow. Then it will be an exponential period moving average on close. Then I'll say okay. Then I will add another one which will be 30. I'll make this red. Oops, I'll make this red. Alright, so this is the strategy. So for the buy case, he said whenever we have the 10 period moving average above the 30 period moving average, right? Then we have a retracement, right? For example, this is a retracement, this is a retracement, these are retracements, right? And we realize that CCI is above negative 100, for example, like this, it is above, but it was previously below it. It is coming from below negative 100 to above negative 100. For example, here you go. So you can see this is above negative 100, but on this candle it was below negative 100. And there is a retracement into this 10 period moving average, right? And we also have the 10 period moving average above the 30 period moving average. So this is a valid buy case, right? So we should have entered here for a buy and ride the trend. So where should we put our stop loss? Our stop loss should be the lowest between the last two candles. For example, so let's assume we have entered here. So our stop loss will have been somewhere around here. So I think we'll have get knocked out around this point. So yes, this is a failed trade, but you can see it later went our way. So maybe even after setting our stop loss at the lowest between the last two candles, maybe we should have an extra pips to protect ourselves, you know. So maybe that's what we are going to be doing. And what should be our take profit? We can take profits based on reward to risk. I mean 1 to 1, 1.5 to 1, 2 to 1, you know, or we can trail the position till the market reverses, right? Just like it did here. So instead of taking 1 to 1, we would have taken more profits, you know, at this point, you know. So let's quickly check out the sell case. All right. So for example, this point, you can see that the 30 period moving average is above the 10 period moving average, which indicates that we are in a sell trend, right? And there is a retracement, right? You can see this is a retracement into the 10 period moving average, right? Then you can see that the market is coming from the 100 CCI. It is coming below the 100 CCI. So you can see at this point, it is below the 100 level for the CCI. And at this point, it was higher than 100 level for the CCI. So that means we should enter a sell case here, right? And ride trend. And that will have been a profitable trade, right? So that is simply the strategy. Let's quickly automate the strategy. And in case when you find it hard to understand what I've explained so far, you can quickly go back to the video to check out the video. Then come back to see the automation results. And in case where you want to skip that, you can just skip to the backtest part where you confirm if I have truly done what he asked us to do in the video. Then you can wait until you get to the optimization part where you see if we can possibly explore this strategy to get the best out of it. Good profits with relatively good drawdown. So I'll see you in the video. Alright guys, so I'll create a new project. So I'll say Control N or Command N if you're on Mac. So this, and I'll choose expert advisor. I'll go for next, then I'll give it a name, CCI plus MA crossover. So I'll say next, and finish. So I'll clean this up. All right. So what are the things we need from the user? We need magic number. So I'll say this. Then we need the lot size for the positions. This lot size. Then what else? You know what? For now, let's just get the comment, the trade comment. So what label should be on each position so that we can identify the source of the position. So we can say trade comment. Then okay, for now that's all. So also before we go ahead, let's just get the include files that will help us with our trade functions. But this is from the trade class. So you can say this. Then for this, also from trade, but for position informations. Okay, this you can say position P info. So what we'll be doing here is that when a position or an order is created by this EA, please assign this magic number specified by the user to that particular trade. Then we need the CCI, right? So let me quickly get handle prepared here for the CCI. So I'll say handle CCI, ICCI for this chart symbol, for the time frame. Okay, you know what? Let's also make this time frame something the user can change. And the essence of doing this is we want to get the best time frame to use this strategy on. So we are going to do that. We are going to get the best time frame while we are doing the optimization. So you can just say time frame. By default, it should be the current time frame. Then we work on it when we are doing the optimization. So then we can say what is the period for the CCI. Normally I should just add code 7, but you know what? I will make this available for the user to edit. So I'll say CCI price as well. So in case where you are not comfortable with using 7, then you know what? Let me group this. I'll group this to be general setting. General settings. Then for this, I'll group this to be CCI setting. CCI setting. So one of the things that the user should provide is the CCI period, which will be 7 by default, right? So CCI period. Then the next thing will be the price. This will be apply price, CCI price. Then the default should be okay. I think so. Let's check default again. Okay. I think the default should be typical price. So I'll say price typical. So I'll say CCI apply price. And in the case where you think this is not the right thing, that means you have the opportunity to change it. So let's quickly get information for the moving averages. So I can do this. I'll say MA settings. So this fast MA, okay, fast MA period, and this will be 10. So fast MA period. And for the slow MA period, slow MA period. So this will be 30. All right. Then what should be the moving average method? So it should be exponential. So I'll say MA method, and this will be exponential. MA method. So what should be the price? The apply price. So I'll say apply price, MA price. This will be price close, then MA applied price. So let me get the handle for the moving averages. So handle fast and handle slow. Oops. All right. So then I'll say undo fast. Oops. IMA for this chart symbol, this chart time frame. Then the period will be the fast MA period. Then the shift will be 0. Then the method will be MA method. Then this will be the price. So we can also get that for the slow. So slow IMA. Yeah. Slow MA 0, MA method, MA price. Oops. So this. Then I love having my logic inside a function, so I'll just call this CCI MA, right? Then I will call this here. I will define this here, so it will return nothing. And this. So now, what do we need to do? We need to search for signals, right? But before we search for signals, we need to be sure that there is no open position. So how do we know if there is no open position? So let's write another function that will return the last position index. So we can store whatever the value the function returns. We can store it here, last position index. So we create this in a few seconds. So I'll just copy this. And of course, it is returning an index, so it will be an integer, right? So now, how do we know the last position index? It's by looking through all the position on the account, right? Starting from the last one, since you want to get the last one, right? So this. So after looking through, you want to select each by the index, which is starting from, let's say we have 5 positions on the account. So, and you know that the index is named starting from 0. So automatically we won't be able to get any of the position that have index 5. Of course, there won't be any existing position with index 5 because we only have 5 positions. So it will start from 4. That's why I said the position total minus 1. That means 4. So get the last one, right? After getting the last one, then check if the position symbol is the same with the chart symbol, right? Then check if the position magic number is the same with the magic number specified by the user. If this comparison is true, you can just return I. And in the case when none of this comparison is true, you can return -1. So if you are familiar with my video, you know all of this. And in case when you are not familiar with this, but you are interested in knowing how to automate strategies, right? You can check out the link in the description that will lead you to a course on Udemy that teach you how to automate strategies just like this and even far more, You will learn everything step by step, lecture by lecture. Let's get back into the video. So now, if this trade index returns -1, right? If it returns -1, that means we should search for position, right? And in the case where it is not returning -1, that means we should manage our position. That means there is a position open. There is an open position, and we are supposed to manage such position, right? If there is no open position, what should we do? First thing first, let's check if the moving average is aligned. So let's get the value for the moving average. Oops. So I will say fast, which is for the fast MA. Then I will say the slow. So under this array, this is where I'm going to store the value of the buffers. So I will say copy buffer from undo fast. The buffer is 0. Start from 0. Just give me 3. Okay, give me 5. I love having extra. Then dump the values into this. And for this, copy buffer. And I can't type. And slow 005 and dump it here. So be sure you sort this array. This. Then for this, slow 2. You know what? We also need for the CCI. So let's quickly get that fast so that we won't need to come back to something like this again. I'll just say CCI. Let's say buffer, copy buffer from the handle CCI, then buffer 0, start from 0, and just give me 5. And dump the value into the CCI. Also make sure you sort it. So I will say CCI true, right? So that's that. So what next? If, for the buy case, if the fast MA, right, is above the slow MA, right? And the CCI is above negative 100, but it was previously below negative 100, right? Also, we want to make sure that there is a retracement. So how do we know that? We want to make sure that the low of the previously closed candle retraces or is lower than the 10 period moving average, which is the fast MA, right? So we want to make sure that the low, we are going to define the low now. The low is lower or equal to the fast MA, right? So that's another thing we should be sure of. So let me quickly define the low. So this is it. You know what, we'll be needing the high for the sell case. So let me just make the high available so that I won't have to come back here. This, right? So in the case where the fast MA is above the slow moving average and the CCI is coming from below negative 100 to above negative 100, and there is a retracement into the fast MA, which is the 10 period moving average. So we want to buy, right? So let's quickly write for the sell. So we can say if the fast MA is lower than the slow MA, right? Then you realize that the CCI is below 100 level, and it was previously higher. It was previously higher than the 100 level, and the high of the previous candle retraces into this fast period moving average, which is the 10 period moving average, right? So in that case, we are going to sell. So this. So now, for the buy case, what we do is we need to get the stop loss, right? So we can say the stop loss should be the low between the last two candles, the lower point between the last two candles. So I will say this from this time frame. So which one? We don't know if it is the one of index 1 or the one on index 2, but we can get it. So we are saying high lowest. So if you are familiar with my video, you must have seen this before. So I will say high lowest, this chart symbol, this time frame. We are interested in the low, right? So how many? Just 2, and start with 1. So start from index 1 and check the one before. You just want to check 2. Just want to check 2. So now the next thing is, how do we determine our take profits, right? So target. The target should be either reward to risk or we should just trail. And if you are trailing, you don't want to be stopped out by take profit, a fixed take profit. So when we are trailing, we want to make the target to be 0, right? So let's quickly make it an option here. So you can say, do you want to trail? So you can say use trailing by default it to be true. So I'll say use trailing. So I'll come back here. So in the case where use trailing is activated, right, we are going to assign 0 to the target. And in the case where use trading is not activated, what we want to do is we want to say the ask price, which is the entry price. Let's quickly define the ask price. So you can come here, you can say ask from chart symbol info. From symbol info double, then we can say this. So we'll also be needing the bid price for the sell case. So let me just define it here. Symbol bid. So that we can simply say, before we go ahead, let's quickly get the difference between the ask price or the entry price and the stop loss. But also before we do that, what we want to do is we want to add an extra stop loss so that we won't get knocked out by manipulation, So let's have something here. You can just say extra stop loss. So you can say extra XL. By default it will be 0. So extra stop loss. Stop loss. So it will be in pips, right? So you know what? Let's just have this extra here. So you can say extra. So which is extra XL times points times 10, right? So that means when you get the lowest points, then go lower by this extra so that we have a breathing room. Then we want to know the gap between the ask price and the stop loss, right? And what we want to do with this, we want to make sure that when we are setting the target, in the case where trading is set to false, you want to know what reward to risk to get, right? So let's make this available as well. So you can say reward, which is 2 by default. So this is reward to risk. Reward to risk. This is for the take profits. So I can simply say, yeah. So in case where trading is set to false, use reward to risk, right? Then you can go ahead and send out our buy case. Then we can go ahead and set out our buy position. So we can say using the lot size specified by the user. Then for this chart, buy for this chart symbol. Then at what price are the ask price? What should be the stop loss? This should be the stop loss. And what should be the target? This should be the target, Then this should be the comment. And in the case where this is returning false, maybe the buy position is not sending correctly. I want to know the reason why. So I will say order send. Basically, it should be position send, but that is how it works. Order send. Get me the reason why. So that is that. And for the sell case, so you can say the stop loss will be the highest point or the higher point between the last two candles, right? Oops, it shouldn't be highest, it should be high. So here, this time highest. Oops, this time we are interested in the high, then the last two starting from one, and that's that. So we want to say plus extra, Then we want to say XL equals the difference between the stop loss and the ask price. Of course and the bid price. Of course, the stop loss will be bigger than the bid price in this case. We are dealing with sell. So for the target, you can say in case where you are trading is set to true. So make sure that the take profit is 0, and in case where trading is set to false, make sure that the target is bid minus reward multiplied by XL. So we can simply say this, try to send out the sell trade using this lot size, and for this chart symbol using the bid price, this will be stop loss, this will be the target, and this will be the comment, right? So in case where this returns false, that means sending of the position is not successful. Tell me the reason why. So now, how do we manage our position? We only want to manage our position if trading is set to true. And if trading is set to true, try to select that position, the last position. And how do we get the last position index? Of course, we already have that gotten for us by this function. So after getting that, now we need to know the details about the position. We need to know the entry price. We need to know the current price. We need to know the position type. So let's quickly get that. So we can say for the entry price, which is position info, price, open, and for the current price, which is price current, right? So what else do we need? You know what? Let's get the position type. So position type, P info price, position type. So if we are dealing with, we also need the stop loss. So we can say stop loss, which is this price, stop loss. So now we can say in the case where the type is of buy, in the case where we are dealing with position type buy, right? And you realize that the gap between the current price, which is the price, the market price, right, or the potential price at which you can close the position if you want to close it now, current price minus the entry price, minus the old stop loss, right, is times 2 of the initial stop loss gap. So how do we get the initial stop loss gap? So here, instead of declaring and assigning, so we are only going to assign a value to this Excel variable. So I'll just take this out. So to just be assigning, here. Then we are going to declare this in a global manner, which is here, right? So that means we will have access to it here. So we want to make sure that the gap between the market price and the old stop loss is times 2 of the gap of the stop loss, And if that is it, we are going to assign a new Excel, a new stop loss, So which is the current price minus the Excel, right? Then we are going to say trade position modify using the ticket, and what should be the new the stop loss, the new Excel, and what should be the take profits, the old take profits. And in the case where we are dealing with sell, position type sell. So make sure that the gap between the old stop loss and the current price is greater or equal to 2 times the gap between the stop loss, the initial stop loss. So in that case, we want to set out the new stop loss to be current price plus Excel. Then want to modify the position. So you can say position modify using the ticket, right? This is the new stop loss, and maintain the whole take profits. So this. So I will save and I will compile. So I think we are good to go. Okay, good. So let's quickly backtest to see if we have done the right thing. So I'll just pop up this. I'll choose this. This is from my previous video. So I think you should check it out. It's a very nice EA. It was from one of the members. It was sent to me to code for the community. So I'll just select. So this is my EA. I'll backtest for code. Then okay, let me change this back to 2026, and I'll change this to the 0 because I want to backtest, not optimize. So okay, let's set this to false so that we see the reward to risk in action. Let's say reward to risk to be 1. Then okay, I think we do not need to touch this, and we are going to set 0 for the extra stop loss for now. So let's start our backtest. So I'll reduce the speed. I'll remove the bridge as well. Then let me zoom close. Reduce the speed a little. Okay, we have a position right here, a buy position. You can see that the market retraces into this 10-period moving average. Then there is a cross from the CCI is above 100, negative 100, but it was previously below negative 100. It dipped down below negative 100, and now it's it's going back up. So that means there's a retest. So we can see, okay, we hit take profit, and okay, let's see. So I think one of the things we should do is we should make sure that we're only trading once per candle. So how do we do that? So let me go back to my ID. So I will define another another variable. So I'll say last entry. So each time I have an entry, so that means in case where this return true, right? What I want to do is I want to say last entry was done on this candle, right? Oops, this candle. So chart symbol, time frame, and for this current candle. So I'll just copy this, and then I'll make sure that when I realize that whenever the last entry is equal to this time, so what I want to do is I want to return that, I don't want to trade, I've traded on this candle already. So that means in case where maybe we hit stop loss, So you don't want to trade multiple times per candle. So I think the what to risk is working. So let's try to implement the trading as well to see in action. So I'll start again. I'll remove the grid. Okay, you can see now we have the buy position right here, but you can see the take profit is 0, and that's because we are going to be trading. So let's see the trading in action. Okay, we've trailed once. Oops, we're knocked out. Let me see if I can. I think we should give it we should give the stop loss a breathing room. So that's the point of having the extra stop loss. You can see the stop loss is directly on the lowest between the last two candles, and it is too tight. So just by retracement, we might get knocked out. Here we are still breathing. Okay. Okay, you can see this take profit. I mean the trading. Trading is working fine. So okay. So let's see the extra stop loss. You know what? I'll put extra stop loss on 50. I'll put extra stop loss on 50. So and I'll start again. You see that we have a better breathing room. Okay, you can see this is the lowest point, and from here to here you can see this is 50 pips, which is 500 points. So I think we are good to go, and you can see we are yet to be knocked out, so we are still in the trade. Okay, we have been protected by trading, then we are still trading. So each time the gap between the current market price and the stop loss is ×2. For example, this is the gap, so that is about 2,000 points. So if we are around here, when the market comes around 2,000 points, so we should trail one more time. So let's see. Okay, we are trading. Okay, that's good. You can see the trading is working fine, and it's making us ride the trend. So that's a very good one. Okay, we have a new trading. We are trading properly. Okay, I think that is all. So the strategy is working fine according to our backtest. So you know what? Let's just let's optimize. Let's just go straight to the optimization part. So for the setting, so I'll optimize for gold, right? I'll change the time frame to 15 because he said we should backtest on 15-minute time frame or higher. And for the period, we are going to backtest. We are going to optimize from 2000 and okay, let's backtest let's optimize from 2020. So for the deposits, we start at 500, and for the optimization, it's just fast. So going back to the input, we do not need to optimize for the lot size, but let's optimize for the reward to risk. So let's start with 1 to 1, then increase by 0.5. Then where should we stop? Let's stop at 7. So for the time frame, so we are going to start from 15 minutes and we are going to stop at 4 hours, which is this. Then for the trading, we want to know if truly we should trail. So for the extra stop loss, we are going to start from 0. We are going to increase by 10 and stop at 50. So we see the best. So we want to know if we should use 0 for the extra stop loss for the breathing space. For the breathing space for the stop loss, we want to see if we should use 0, 10, 20, 30, or 50. So I think that is all. We do not need to optimize for the period or for the applied price, and do not need to optimize for this. In this way, you have a better period for the fast moving average and the slow moving average that you wish to work on. We can check that out and redo the optimization from your end. Go check out the description for the source code. But for now, I think I'm good to go. Let me just review. So for the reward to risk, from 1 to 7, okay. The time frame from 15 minutes to 4 hours. And for the trading, yes. For the extra stop loss, okay, that's fine. So I think that's all we need. So I'll just click on start. Then the optimization is about to start. So when the optimization is finished, we are going to check out the results together. We are going to analyze the results together to see if truly the strategy is profitable and if truly the drawdown is affordable. Let's wait for the results. I'll see you. All right, the optimization is done. So let me just increase this. Then we go for results. And currently it is sorted based on profit, and you can see this is the highest profit made, which is $2,309 made from deposit of 500 starting from 2020 to 2026 April. Then and the drawdown was 35.32. So that was on 20 minute time frame. Trading was set to false, and zero was used as the extra stop loss. So and this is the next one, also on 20-minute time frame, almost the same thing, almost the same drawdown and almost the same profit. And this one have a higher drawdown, so we can't even consider this, and we can't consider this, but we can also consider this. You know what, let's just quickly, so you can see this is the highest profit made, which is 2,300. So let me sort based on drawdown, and you can see this is the lowest drawdown, which is 19.23, and the profit is 1,900. I think the charm of this strategy is based on 20 minutes, so the trading was set to false, and extra stop loss was 50 pips for gold. If you think this is good for from 2020 to 2000, early 2026, you can go ahead. But I think is pretty low, even if the drawdown is relatively fair, but is low. And the fact that the time frame sound weird to me. Why not just say, okay, we can consider this, which is on 30 minutes, and this drawdown is almost 20%, and the profit is 1,766. So I think this or this, so we can consider that. But the 1,766 from 2020 to 2020, from 2020 to 2026, I think is low. Yes, the strategy might be promising, but it's not returning enough. So these are the other results. So in the case where you're interested in the other result, these are the other results you can see. So this is currently sorted based on drawdown. And that is that. So that is that about the strategy. And in the case we have saved you a lot of time for manual backtest and days or weeks of demo trading for this kind of strategy, be sure to give a thumbs up. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe. I will see you on the next one.